Welcome back to CBS Mornings. 3 weeks ago, President Vladimir Putin ordered the mobilization of hundreds of thousands of military reservists to help fight the war in Ukraine. Putin's directive led to an exodus of huge numbers of Russian men, causing very long lines at the country's borders. Anyone who avoids a draft there can face as much as 10 years in prison. Chris Livesay traveled to the neighboring country of Georgia, where tensions are high as Russians arrive. Now, we need to give you a heads up here that some of the images in his report are difficult to watch.
Hundreds of thousands escaping the fighting in Ukraine. But they're not Ukrainians. Instead, Russians fleeing the draft at home by flooding the border into Georgia. Relieved to avoid the bloodbath of their own country's making, new arrivals crowd into a support group where they learn how to get a bank account, get a cell phone, and simply get by in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi. One of them, Alexei, takes us to the shelter he now calls home after driving 7 days from Moscow
Best song
with little more than his guitar.
Ghostbusters. The thing thinks.
Better that than a rifle, he says.
Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
His roommate Skobar flew, then pedaled his way by bike after the government told him to report for military training.
So I'm a student because I'm only 21 years old, and I got nothing to do with any army stuff. Because I don't want to go to the army and go to the war and die and kill people, I guess.
But at an anti-Putin rally in the capital, Georgians fear the Russian draft dodgers are a Trojan horse. All of these Russians, hundreds of thousands of them virtually overnight, clearly isn't sitting well with everyone in Georgia. Those here see it as yet another form of Russian invasion, and they're calling for the border with Russia to be closed.
And they must know that they are not welcome here.
Georgia is no stranger to Russian invasion. In 2008, Putin attacked by land, air, and sea, allegedly to protect Russians living here. To this day, 20% of the country remains occupied.
We know how Putin starts wars.
So you're afraid that Georgia could be next?
Putin can come and say, we need to send our soldiers to save the lives of our citizens in Georgia.
But in Putin's army, morale has never been lower. Following staggering defeats in Ukraine, troops are retreating and surrendering. And to dodge the draft, conscripts are so desperate, they're even breaking their own arms and legs, as this video is said to show.
The fear, it's not something rational, not something logic. You just someday wake up and start to feel it.
Skobar knows how lucky he is to be in Georgia.
I'm in safety, that Putin can't kill me or I am not in jail, I'm not arrested.
How long do you think you're going to be here?
I don't know. I want to work on my old job. I want to live with my family and my girlfriend. So I guess I'll be turned back when the Vladimir Putin will be dead, I guess. And I will be just fine with this.
For CBS Mornings, Chris Livesay, Tbilisi, Georgia.
A whole nother perspective. You know, the guy with the guitar singing Ghostbusters is not a Trojan horse, number one. And I thought the last man he said, I don't want to die and I don't want to kill people.
No.
The fact that they're running away from this says a lot.
When people go to war, they go to war for ideas and ideals that they believe in.
Yes.
You can tell that hundreds of thousands of Russians that do not believe in Putin's ideals.
Not when you're breaking your own leg, Tony.
Gosh.
To break your own leg just so you can dodge going to fight for your country says a lot.